Next, Dave Bavaro.
Good morning. I haven't been here for a while. Actually, I misspelled my name. It's my own doing. My name is Dave Bavaro. There you have it. Looks like these words will have to compete. Right. I want to dedicate this first poem to Professor Westland at Northeastern University. It's hard to believe, but some people actually believe that a poem is the sum of its parts. And so this is called Formalist Poem. This is what a poem means. Right. Now this is the real thing. This is called Poetry, the Workshop. Poetry. Well, take sculpture for instance. I happen to have some lines arranged quite neatly in rows on this table, and just a little slap of this here staple stir, and there you are, two fine lovers. Carefully bite. Poetry. Oh yes. Now where did I put that poet? Here we are. It's quite a piece actually, though a bit naive. Thinks people can hear him. Mostly sits around staring at clocks all day like some little boy Buddha, but he can make an ear sing. The real stuff. How about, can we still remember what, we were actually at war a little while ago, weren't we? It's hard to imagine. But anyway, I'm probably one of the thousands of people who couldn't do anything but put words on paper during that time. Something like helplessness. It's hair in your chest, right? That, gentlemen, is why we've drawn the January 15th deadline. This war was funded in part by our Standard Moral Company, aimed for best results. Squeeze the nation from the bottom, flatten as you go up. And by viewers like you. This is war, a parlor scene. Every Sunday or so, the mothers convene at the radio. A parlor, a pate, a few new hats. Some shiny black purses and chairs set in rows, teacups, cupped and raised. Volleys of rumors and quick replies. Mine got his in the mail today. Nodding hairdos and the distant, gentle voice. As tallow faces become taut and silent, then solemnly, little boys are placed into more appropriate places. Tantrum. The silence got to me. Finally, I decided that work would make sense. Okay, so could I. I clenched my fists and threw balls of clay, yellowed cracked walls of my room. So great cocky scabs stared back at me all around. Anger meets shame. Shame, anger. Has anybody ever looked up army in the dictionary? Somebody should. Army in the dictionary. Multitude expresses number without order or organization. A multitude of armed men is not an army, but a mob. Pumpkin Wagner's College Dictionary. The absence of war. Please, may we now consider the standing army justified? Like to ask, how in the world, if for all our mouths there is not one louder than a gun, well, would you open one? The animals, if and when a war, may ask, if our minds are all that we say they are, justified.
I would like to ask you to do me a favor, and everyone who's talking, to either move into that room or to go outside. And I would like to ask everybody over here to move over here, because for some reason, every time we get people over there, everyone gets noisy, and we're not respecting the artist.
showed some real good violence. Something wrong. Something wrong with that hand, high flown from the floor that dust and darkness send a shriek. Back at its pale approach, that hand. My own? That hand, that light from the swaggering vertigo and darkness, compressed in that moment of sulfur and violence, shrinks back to press its icy fingers upon the warm violet cherry kiss in my chest. How cheap can life be that death makes such cold comedy? 38 snub nose Satori. This is for kids. They're the only people that have religious experiences. Sunday on train. Kids crashing through, landing on the floor on their knees, giggling in their pants till tiny mother arrives. Just you sit and behave. You sit. Rows of solemn faces resume reading. A few newspapers rise simultaneously. Here we going downtown. See that train going? See that train going up? You missed it. Up, you missed it. People try not to notice them investigating the floor, standing without shame on the seats, exhausted mother, saintly, not even watching. Look, that building. Look, that building big. It's the biggest building ever. Rows and rows and rows, and smell of candles on the coats. The people, wide eyes, hide on the floor between their feet. Look that. Look that one. Biggest ever. Smallest face turns up with sudden serious urgency, replies, nope, giant's biggest. Giants get legs that go up to God. In Japan, there's this weird, not weird, it's kind of good. There's this custom, I guess, that if your friend or your spouse or your family, someone close to you gets sick, you fold 1,000 paper cranes and send it to them. Have you ever heard of that?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, no. Origami. 1,000 blue shadows have grown from every corner, pressed like cold, tall, slim hands to feel the premise and turn. Slanting elbows, dark bones, fingers fall and fold themselves. First I make a black ribbon upon neatly tucked white linen, then knead and roll to an ash-gray shroud, gloom and clouds through the window panes, crease and fold, fold into 1,000 fragile cranes.
That was Dave Bavaro, and I made the announcement about being quiet earlier. You didn't, and now Mayor had to come up here, and you guys are in trouble.